Hi guys. Today we really need to look at what you've learned in this web quest and talk about some important things when applying the compound interest formula and then how to interpret our answers that we get once we actually have the solution. A huge misconception in math is that once you find the answer, you're done. But really, that answer tells us something, and we have to know how to analyze it and interpret it in those contexts of the problem. And especially in the task that I've given you, I'm asking you to compare two different scenarios, and you really have to look at those and understand the differences in them and solve them in order to look at those differences. One hint that I'm going to give you is that, yes, we've been talking about compound interest and exponentials, but I don't want you to forget about what we've learned with linear functions, because the biggest difference is that linear functions have that constant rate of change, and you'll still see those compared to exponentials. So some things I want to point out about the compound interest formula before we analyze. The main one being is your n variable, or the number of times the interest is compounded in a year. We really need to understand that it's referring to the actual number of times within the year, and that's the number that we're plugging in. So if your problem says that the interest is applied monthly, you guys need to understand that that happens 12 times because there's 12 months in a year. And we have to understand too that when we actually plug in the interest rate into the formula, that we're not plugging in that number, we're plugging in the decimal amount of that percentage. So if it's 10%, you're plugging in 0.1. If it's 50%, it's 0.5. So those are just some things to remember before we look at a problem together. Lastly, we're going to look at this compound interest example and talk about some of the things that I really want to see in your task response. So the first thing you'll notice is that I've broken down the word problem and I've identified all the variables' values, and I've shown my work on plugging in the numbers into my formula and actually solving it. Now, in addition to just getting that answer, the 6344.93, you need to interpret what that number means. So if I go back and read this problem, if I wanted to explain what this number means in the context of the problem, I would say the amount in this account after 4 years is $6,344.93. So I want you guys to see the difference rather than just having an answer and stating it as to what it means in that problem. So I'm going to let you guys go for it, and I want you to remember the hint that I gave you with linear functions, and I want you to go ahead and start your task. One big thing is that I want you guys to use mathematical language when you answer these tasks. So don't forget that. Don't forget English conventions, transitions, grammar, and go ahead and get started. Good luck.